today, a very interesting person. He's David Hasselhoff. He is the, presently at this very moment, the ex-star of The Young and the Restless. He told me he just quit. So we'll talk about why David Hasselhoff quit after so many years and what he's going to be doing, which ought to be interesting. We're scooping everybody with this. And current events-wise, I have nothing to say because I want to go talk to David Hasselhoff. So we're going to go to a commercial and we'll be right back after this message. It's real. He was off. We're back. My guest today is David Hasselhoff, star of The Young and the Restless, the former television series Semi-Tough. He owns a restaurant here in Atlanta that has been getting some great reviews. It's a very good French restaurant. And what's the name of it? Pronounce it for me, because I'm not going to get it.
La Fondue Française.
La Fondue Française. Okay. Are you French?
No, are you?
No. Well, now we have nothing to talk about.
Nothing.
We're going to go to... No.
Take a break.
Why did you open a French restaurant?
I have no idea, but right now I think it was a good idea because it's doing real well. My sister married a Frenchman named Philippe Courgeon, who was a friend of mine from Los Angeles. And we used to live in Atlanta years ago. I went to Marist Military Academy. And then my parents moved up to Chicago, and then they moved back. So when Joyce married Philippe, she said, why don't we move to Atlanta and open up a French restaurant featuring fondue.
Just out of the blue, she said, why don't we
well, the way it started...
My dad's got a barn, let's do it.
Why not? There's a restaurant in Los Angeles that's very similar called La Fondue Bourguignon, and it is does really, really well. And their whole setup was so good, we decided to try and set something up similar in Atlanta with a lot of changes. We just took the basic idea of using French waiters and all the food being French except for the fondue. And we came here, I invested some money, and my business manager invested some money, and Philippe did. And I got involved because I could do some free publicity.
Really?
And
what better than a star name to...
Yeah, it helps, because publicity is like very expensive. It's like, you know...
Why don't you call it Hasselhoff's? I mean, we had Mickey Gillian here
Hasselhoff.
the other day. I had Gillies.
No one knows who Hasselhoff is. No one knows me as Hasselhoff. They know me as my character.
Yeah, was it Scooter?
Scooter, right. Snipper.
Huh?
Snapper.
Snapper.
Scooter.
Hey, you know.
Scooter. So it's going real well, and so we opened up 5 weeks ago. It's on 6070 Sandy Springs Circle, and we built the fondue pots inside the tables. So and everything is French. We have his brothers and sent us over music from France. We have 20 hours of French music. We have escargot, we have chicken, beef, and shrimp and scallop fondue, chocolate fondue for dessert, cheese fondue for appetizers. And we've been open 5 weeks. And
how about Frances Fondue? Is she still down there? No.
Frances Fondue? Yes, she's in the back. We won't let her out. No, she's strange.
So it's doing real well.
Yeah, it's doing very well. And we had our grand opening 5 weeks ago, and
made the papers.
We already had a review. Somebody came down incognito and gave us a review, which we were real nervous about, and the review was very good. And so that's
very
helped.
Enthusiastic.
Yeah. And it's a small, intimate French restaurant. It only seats 50 people, and all the waiters are French except for my sister
It won't be like Marie Callender's out in L.A. where it goes into this long chain.
Yeah, not like Denny's. No.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yes. So now you're a restaurateur along with being an actor.
Yeah, it gives me a chance to get out of Hollywood. You know, I mean, to get back here and get back to just
Breathe
being
clean air.
yourself and have a good time and get off the plane and say, whoa, there's a city here, as opposed to just the smog and the rat race. And a time to spend with my family, because we're really all very close, and my dad goes in and plays Jackie Gleason, the bartender, when he gets busy, you know, so it's, and if we don't have any business, we all eat there, so it's great.
Yeah, free food.
Yeah.
You think you're going to gain any weight?
I have.
You have.
So let's go.
What happened with Young and Restless? Now, tell us about this. We want to
The inside scoop.
The inside scoop. Inquirer, go home, put your pencils down. We got this one. No.
Well, I quit The Young and the Restless 6 months ago to do a series called Semi-Tough, but it was only semi-funny, so we crashed and burned, and the series died. And I made People magazine, though, you know, with a really bad review.
Let me ask you about Semi-Tough, just as a kind of an extra thing. Were you vindictive when it crashed? Did you think it could have been really better?
I was really upset because the first scripts that they sent me, ABC offered me a deal as a holding deal. So they give you a certain amount of money to sign with the network. And then you get first refusal. They offered me a series called Waikiki, which was like a Starsky and Hutch goes to Hawaii. And it was Starsky and Hutch in Hawaii, and who wants to do that for 5 years? Right. So I turned that down.
That was it. They did that as an MOW, and then it went.
Yeah, they tried twice. They lost quite a bit of money on that project.
Yeah.
And then Semi-Tough was offered.
That was Dak Rambo.
Dak Rambo,
right.
Yeah, right.
He can't get arrested now, I hear.
They lost. They lost. I don't know. I've never met the guy, but yeah. Is he good? A good actor? Well, anyway. I don't want to go and talk about that.
I don't want to.
So they came to me and they said, here's Semi-Tough. It's a half-hour sitcom. And Bruce McGill, who played D-Day in Animal House, is your co-star, and Richard Benjamin is your director. And I said, those are two people I would like to work with. So I went in and I read and I got it. They gave it to me, and we were contracted to do 4 episodes. Well, the first one was a fiasco because the writing was terrible. They made Bruce into a quarterback, and he's 5'7" or 5'8", and he's obviously a fullback, and they made me as a wide receiver, and the writing was not funny, and it was a nightmare because it was embarrassing, and you had your friends and your agents, and here's your big move from, you know, snapper goes nighttime, and it was humiliating. All I did was ridicule. But it was the writing. Yeah. Well, David,
Didn't you think that a lot of it had to do with the fact that they were writers were probably still trying to write for Christopherson and Reynolds too?
No, the writers were. No. What it came down to was this: Dan Jenkins wrote the book Semi-Tough,
right.
And he wasn't really happy with the way his book was represented in the film.
Mm-hmm.
He said that he liked, on a physical appearance, us better than the 3 that were hired in the film, because they basically, when the screenplay came, they took his ideas and they ran away with them and just really didn't follow his book. They were going to follow his ideas for the series, but they didn't. And
mm-hmm.
the writers had no idea. Most of the writers never even seen a football game. I mean, honest.
Yeah, it's just like when all the Jewish writers were writing Sanford and Son.
That's what, these 2 little guys, you know, going in, you know, and it was a nightmare because they did not have a handle on what football was about. We had a terrific cast with Bubba Smith and a bunch of guys from the film, a lot of football players, and the camaraderie was super. I mean, if you had gone outside and done it like MASH and had us in football games and huddles and, you know, and it would have been super, but they did the same sitcom, trash.
Yeah.
And it was...
You walk in, you walk out.
Right, and they lost $2 million on it, and they handed us the final script as the audience was filing in, and we couldn't believe it. So then they took a break and said, we're going to take 3 months off. They hired all the WKRP staff to write it. Then at the last minute, they fired those guys and brought in some new guys, and we did 3 more episodes, which were worse than the first one. So you know, it was obvious that it was going to die. So I went back to The Young and the Restless for the summer, and waiting for ABC's new offer for another series. And they've offered me a series called Scruples.
Based on the book by
Based on the book, yeah. CBS did a miniseries with Lindsay Wagner, which was real successful, and Barry Bostwick played the role. Then ABC bought the rights from CBS.
Now is Paul Picard doing that still?
I don't know who's doing. No one's doing it at this point because of the strike. You know, you were involved with that too. It pushed everything back. So that's why I went back on the Y&R, and that's why.
Because I knew the executive producer when it was a miniseries.
Oh, you did?
It was Paul Picard, and
yeah.
That's inside. That won't make anything to the audience. So now you went back to Young and the Restless, and now your contract has expired. So technically what you're doing is you're waiting for them to negotiate something that's fair.
Right, yeah, they've come back, and then we said no because they want to lock me up for a year, and I've been there 5 years, and you can, I mean, it's a terrific training ground, it's a terrific life. You get a certain amount of, you know, the fame, and you get a certain amount of confidence as an actor because you are doing 25, 30 pages a day.
Yeah.
And you're really on top of your craft. When you go out for cold readings, you're right there because you do it every day. But, I mean, the point comes in your life, do you want to stay in soaps, make a nice amount of money, or do you want to become an actor, you know, and be true to yourself? So I'm turning down my toys and being true to myself, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of people know who you are. I mean, you're very famous.
Yeah, right.
No, really, you are. You make the cover of a lot of the magazines, the Hollywood magazines.
It's called Pay Your Press Agents.
Yeah, and they say David Hasselhoff, you know, the dreamy-eyed guy from Young and the Restless, who you can see in this X movie that you do when you do the MOWs, and you're getting there, and maybe, I think that if you've done 5 years in the soap opera, then you should be able to go out and try something else. And if they're telling you you can't do that, then they're the ones that aren't being fair. Yeah. Because you're making their show, and they should in turn let you make yourself.
I agree. I mean, it's just that one of the main reasons I'm popular is because I've been there 5 years. You know, you don't get popular overnight. We got to
go to a commercial.
Oh.
We're going to be right back with David Hasselhoff.
Folks. See you later.
Right after this message. We're back with David Hasselhoff, and he was telling us about The Young and the Restless. Now you were saying you wanted to play with your toys. Now you have a toy company that you're...
Yeah, a friend of mine that used to live on a lake with me, one day got a brainstorm to invent a toothpaste dispenser. And he invented it. And McDonald's wanted a minimum order of 3 million of them, but McDonald's has a policy to only sell things over the counter for less than $1. And we could not bring it in for that because OPEC raised the price of oil because it's plastic.
Yeah.
So
automatically you're in trouble.
We found another product with happened to be a next door neighbor of ours, and he has come up with a thing called the rag ball, which is a hard ball that reacts just like a hard ball, but it's soft, and if it hits you, it doesn't hurt. I've got a couple in the car, but I mean, I really don't want to promo it yet because we're not really bringing them out until summer. Right now we're making the machines. I'm going to fly to Chicago tomorrow or Sunday.
You're going to take a plane? You're going
to... Yeah, I'm going to take a plane. After what happened at the airport today, I'm going to take a plane. My bags are still at the airport. So
being gone through by all of the wonderful fans of the airport.
Yeah.
His bags at the airport and run.
Right. I won't say what airlines.
Yes.
But it's not Western.
That's not Northern.
No. So yeah, I got involved in this toy company. It's a lot of fun, and we have like sporting goods shows. We had our first show, and we sold 40,000 balls. So we're like, oh my God,
you're
we
sold
sold
for your
them.
balls.
How do we make them? Yes.
If that goes through.
Good to say that.
I just lost my job, so what the heck?
It's all right. That's how Lassie started, too.
True. Lassie was a guy.
That's right.
Well,
That's right.
In Hollywood is not uncommon, you know. Having fun.
Well, we're having fun. Yeah.
Do you get mobbed a lot by women?
No.
Do the women that watch the show come up and call you Snapper?
Yes.
And ask you all the time? The girls in the office here were asking you, what's going to happen with this character and that character?
Once in a while they say, are you David Hasselhoff? And I get really flattered because most people just know me as Snapper.
And they say, are you Snapper?
Yeah. And
do they come up to you and beat you? You did that awful thing to so-and-so.
Yeah.
Do they?
Well, just the other day, somebody came and grabbed me and gave me all kinds of hugs and kisses and turns to the crowd and says, ladies and gentlemen, it's BJ.
I never thought about it.
It was really an ego boost.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get stopped a
Well,
lot,
when he has
especially
5
out of
years
town.
on a series, then he can.
Yeah. Yeah.
But-
He and I used to go to acting class together. He's a good guy.
Is he?
Yeah, he really is.
He's going to run into the same problem Ronald Reagan ran into with Bonzo.
With Bonzo?
Yeah. If you think
Yeah.
about it, he's got a chimp for a co-star, and Reagan's never been able to shake Bonzo since.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's going to have that problem. Everywhere you
Bonzo in
go,
the White House.
Where's the bear? You
Where's
know,
the bear?
President Evigan.
So,
Now that you've gone into businesses in a restaurant and you've gone into the toy business, and of course you've been in show business for a long time, do you think you'll ever get out of show business and just become a businessman?
no, acting is my first love. I just got involved with the restaurant because it's family and because it was a chance to be close to my family and
Make your family money.
yeah, make some money, you know, with them. We're not going to see any profit from this restaurant for 2 or 3 years, but that's what we knew going into it. The rag ball, we're going to see some profit, but not for a couple years. That's one reason now that I'm leaving the show, it's a tough step to take because of financial things. You get used to a lifestyle and you know, and all the magazines, and you go to these openings. I went to a thing last night with I'm going out with Kathy Lee Crosby, and I walked in, and she's real hot
That's
now.
incredible.
Yeah. And when you walk in with someone that hot, you know, you realize that, oh, now you're going to leave this all behind, you know, and all of a sudden you're going to be out of the game.
Yeah.
I've been in the game for like 5 years, and it's like you're removing yourself from the whole game,
Yeah.
and it's like, it's kind of scary because if you do purposely remove yourself and you take the gamble, there is a definite possibility you may not get back in that game for a long time.
I met her when she was doing the Guinness special, where she was riding the camel or the donkey or something.
Oh
when
yeah,
she was in a race.
she's a sweetheart. She really
Yeah,
is,
she's
you
a nice
know,
lady.
and
Good
she's
lady. She's been around a long time.
Yeah, exactly. You know, people think, oh yeah, Kathy Lee Crosby, overnight success. Well, that girl's been around for 12 years.
There's never an
You
overnight
know.
success. Your overnight successes are the ones that paid 12 years dues
Exactly.
before that. How long were you in
Well, I started out here in Atlanta, Georgia, the Academy Theater in Buckhead, which has since moved.
Yeah, they're now over here in
Right.
Peachtree
I
Road.
did Theater Under the Stars did 110 in the Shade with Dale Robertson. Rained every night. Dale Robertson, yeah.
Does everybody do Dale Robertson?
Martin.
Yeah. Well, they say he's going to run for president because if Reagan could do it, now he can do it.
Sure.
All the old Death Valley days.
Right,
group
Death
can
Valley
just-
Day, the cabinet.
Yeah, Rosemary DeCamp, your vice president.
So
But you're going to stay in it. Do you sing?
Yeah, I got
Have you got an album out? Or are you
I had
working
to
on
deal
one?
with Capricorn Records how to make them, but Capricorn also crashed and burned. I was in Memphis doing a rock and roll concert, and see,
What do you sing, rock and roll? Or?
Yeah. I did a million musicals and John Davidson type singing. I just really had this fantasy to do rock and roll, so I'm working with the guy who plays my brother on the soap, and we put together several tunes, and we've got 3 record labels very interested in it. So we're waiting to
That's
see if that
tough.
happens.
It's tough for
Yeah.
a record label to look at a television actor.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
you kind of cut your own throat unless you're good, and he writes, and he's the talent behind the writing and the creativity. And we performed together all over the United States and done very well, and the audiences
Great.
have been real responsive. So I may go in that direction. I don't know. Right now, I'm just
Would
here
you
to
like
wait
to play
tables.
Vegas for 35 weeks at a time?
Yeah, I always said no, I would never play Vegas, but now,
I can't wait to play Vegas.
yeah, now I'm getting
One day to walk out there.
getting the urge because
Yeah.
I met Ben Vereen and I saw his act in Vegas and I was just moved so much, and I met his people who put a show together and they watched my show and they said they'd help me put a show together, and that really got my adrenaline flowing because that was Ben Vereen show is probably the best thing I've ever seen on stage.
I went and saw Wayne Newton one time.
Look at
Look out!
Look out.
Hey, look out! He
Look
comes
out.
walking. You can tell when 2 people have that in common. They've seen Wayne Newton. But boy, when he got, the Midnight Idol, and he walked out, and the whole place just went bam,
Crazy.
right on him.
Yeah.
He was there. And when he walked off the stage, he was still there.
Yeah.
I mean, you could almost see his aura walking around. And it just makes you think, wow, just to be able to walk on stage
big.
and try and compete. You'll never compete,
Not
you
with
think.
him.
But you just want to try.
Yeah.
And it's a new direction,
Well, he's the biggest guy in Las Vegas. I mean, he owns the
Yeah.
Aladdin now,
Yeah.
but he's under fire also.
With Aladdin, he's going to be.
Yeah, he's got a problem.
The question is Wayne Newton's name really Wayne Nutini? Or something? Bonzo Mangananzo is going to come into your house.
Right.
We're going to go to a commercial, and we'll be right back with David Hasselhoff. just got a frog in my throat. We're back with David Hasselhoff, who is going to tell us how to get to the La Fondue Francais. You go down the Ventura Freeway to the Pasadena Freeway, then you take the Slauson cutoff, right? No. How do you get there? You go up Roswell?
Well, I'm not too familiar with the area. It's off Roswell Road and Hammond Drive, and you turn left on Hammond Drive, go up to Sandy Springs.
Go 285 to Roswell Road, go north, then you go up to Hammond Drive.
And turn left, which is, I don't know what direction that is.
That's west.
And then turn right on Sandy Springs Circle.
Oh, I know where that is, yeah.
And I'll be
right
out
next
there.
to the Dunkin' Donuts.
We're in a little shopping center that just opened up. It's got ogle trees in it. The only restaurant in there.
Right.
It's got a green awning. So
when you go up Roswell, you'll turn the street before the Wendy's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want to come out this weekend, and we'll all be there. I wait tables.
You wait tables? You speak
once
French?
a month? No, I just open bottles of wine.
Then you're not true to the. No,
I know. Sorry.
What is Hasselhoff, German?
Yeah.
Hasselhoff.
Hasselhoff.
Yeah. Dusseldorf and Hasselhoff and Hogan's Heroes. Hasselhoff's Heroes. Hey, that'd be a great idea for a series.
Great, let's write it up. I'm out of work.
Maybe we can get Bing Crosby to produce it. No, that's awful. Anyway, we have about 2 minutes left, so what I wanted to ask you was, if David Hasselhoff records an album, and he does another series, or he does a movie, and he leaves the soap opera thing, what is the thing that you want to do most if you do a movie, or if you do a TV? Do you want to do a Western, or would you like to do something that...
Cary Grant roles.
Really?
Yeah, I've been looking into getting the rights to a few of his old movies, to remakes. Because, well, he was just the best, and there's not too many. Chevy Chase is about the closest to that kind of comedy around.
Yeah.
Being a vulnerable, just a fop.
Yeah.
You know, but still can be charming on the side.
Yeah.
You know, all being an act. You know, that's what I'd like to do. That's how I
You'd
think
be
I
good
am
at
in
that.
normal life.
You would. You'd be good at that. I could see that. Well,
we'll see.
We'll see. Well, when you take it into your own hands and do it yourself, you know, it always works out that way.
Yeah, you got to. You can't rely on anybody else.
Especially out in
stuck
Hollywood.
in soaps forever.
Hollywood.
Maybe a snapper when I'm 87. That would be the best thing. Chris, you want some milk today?
Well, if we don't see you as Snapper, come back and see us and let us know what you're up to.
I will.
And,
Thank you for having me on the show.
Enjoyed it.
Okay.
It was a lot of fun.
Okay.
Thanks for coming by. La Fondue Francais. He's going to open wine bottles. I'm going to be drinking them.
That's right.
It's on Sandy Springs Circle, which is right off of Roswell Road and Hammond Drive. Thanks for joining us. Go out there tonight. I think I'm going to go have dinner there.
Bye, Lee.
It's my anniversary.
Happy anniversary.